Alrighty, let me get this out the way. So, I'm not sure if I can put this right into words, but I'll try to nonetheless. It's interesting the takes on the 6th of January and all the folks who are like, well, we need the system to change. And you even see these military folks who are like, well, we need the system to change, but, taking down the White House was bad. And it's just like, okay. And before anyone says anything, yes, I admit that a lot of the folks who stormed the Capitol were rich folks who were considered petite bourgeoisie and who wanted the just basically were upset that they were losing their power and they were losing their jobs. Some of them flew in on jets. So yes, that is true. But the thing is that they want the system to change and they just, so hate all these things. And yet some people call themselves socialists, this and that. I think it's just a lot of cognitive dissonance to me, where people are trying to figure out, oh, well, okay, we want the system to change, but we want the right people to do it. And to me, this is just silly stuff. I don't know. I've I had a fair amount looking through some of the more left-wing sorts of folks and the folks who, the military side of Twitter. And, a guy who he calls himself a socialist, but, he'll still, I don't know. Like I say, you never know. Like I say, a lot of folks virtue signal on Twitter, and you never know what they really mean. People talk a lot of shit, and you don't know what they really, truly believe. It's one of those things. I think at the end of the day, the event happened, and to me, now I'm thinking about it, it was the last gasp of the MAGA-pedes. And, it was also a sense of, hey, this is how the system is. This is how people feel about the situation. You can call it Christo-fascism. You can call it whatever thing you want to. But we know that this country is not going to hold up as one. And I think it's something that a lot of people do not want to admit. They'll admit, oh, yeah, well, the U.S. has problems, but they don't want to get into the racial aspect. They don't want to get into slavery. They don't want to get into reparations. They just say, no, Joe Biden's going to fix these things, and that's the end of it. And when you do that, you just kick the can down the road. Like I say, I've larped a lot about stuff on this channel, and I've talked a lot of shit. But I think just in case someone does hear this, I am a coward. I am. I'm a yellow-bellied coward. And furthermore, I know that I wouldn't want to be in a civil war. I wouldn't want to. Or to deal with the kind of Syrian civil war that the United States would be in. Where multiple different factions appear, the United States military being ill-equipped to deal with it. And, would Russia come to the aid of the United States military? I don't know. Would Canada? Would the UK? I don't know. Like I say, it's an interesting thing to think about. There's so many different vectors and everything else that we can't really think of right now. But you see these folks will go on and on about, oh, the military this, the military that, and you see these things. You see you see all the folks that went in and they called it a sacred place and all this stuff. And you wonder what they're really afraid of. You know, I mean, to me at this point, I just go with the flow at this point. You know, I like to think I have morals and standards. But for me, I just want safety and I want to be able to just chill and vibe, you know? I've larped about being a gun runner or whatever, but I know the reality is I'll probably just be a paper pusher somewhere. And that's my future. I just accept it. The thing is that we see these problems occur and nobody can really solve them. You know? And we're going to see groups that are going to make the choices for us, you know? But this is always the way, you know? And we're going to see how bad it gets, you know? And you can talk about, you're for this, you're for socialism or anything else. But look, people have divided loyalties. They always do. And, those loyalties do come out at the most inopportune times. So you see these folks on military Twitter and they'll say, oh, it was so awful with this, or I'm looking at this guy, Commissar USA. So he's a Sami from, I guess Finland, the native peoples of Finland, the indigenous people. Central Committee member, retired infantry senior NCO, communist. It just makes me laugh. So he's talking about UCMJ. He's talking about, if men on military Twitter could stop being garbage and ruining women's lives, don't SH or SH women. Oh, don't sexually harass or sexually harass women. Don't excuse away their behavior. Don't play devil's advocate or whataboutisms. Yeah, okay. It's just hilarious to me. Because, he's still playing the ID poll game, being able to see the things from other points of view within reason. No fascism, racism, sexism, etc. is important. The people who are the most hurt by a problem should be at the front of the solutions. Okay. It's just one of those things where it's like, people spend their whole lives doing stuff. And it's just like, I don't know. What would my life have been like if I had stayed in the United States Army? I would have been miserable. Number one, I would have found any way I could to get out. But yeah, it's just, I'm glad I didn't stay in the military because my goodness, with these folks, these guys are wackadoodles, all the stuff that they're going on and on about. You're just like, okay, whatever, I don't know. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, okay, is this what it's about? Yeah. Yeah. It's just people will do what they can to make their money, won't they? But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. It's just, it's just one of those things where you have to realize where people are coming from And that, when you go online, people talk a lot of smack. I've done it. I do less of it because I know better, but yeah, it happens. Oh, that was kind of an aimless rant. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy that. See you later. Goodbye.